Mazda security oscilloscope and a signal generator here in Hawaii, so I didn't have to pay for shipping. Lovely. Hawaiian shipping can be a little interesting, so yes, it's a tech twist. This video is brought to you by Audiomobile, the company that built the best products ever in the 70s, and by 1979 they were basically consumed by a company called Advent. Large corporation had bought them out. I get the impression that Advent had a working relationship with a company called K40, which is the radar company of the time. They made police radar detectors, and they're the ones that constructed this little beauty. From what I understand, this is a Class A operation, 12-volt power amplifier. It doesn't have a transformer in it. It's a strictly 12-volt operation. It runs all the time. It's Class A. You can run it at 1 ohm. If you choose to upgrade the fuses, you upgrade the fuses to the 7 amp size. The typical fuse for 4 and 8 ohm speakers would be 5 amp pico fuse. Fuses on these would blow from time to time. Customer come driving up in his Porsche, and I'd have to pull the amp out, change the little pico fuses in them. On the other amps, the SA-1000s and stuff, they would have line fuses. So you'd go in there and pull the glass fuse out and put in a new fuse, let the guy know that he doesn't have any speaker shorts. And it was just, you know, the way the amp's got some protection. You were blasting it, right? I had to stop playing. Yeah, that's pretty much the story. As you can see, this particular Audiomobile amp has the shiny, glossy, black branding label insert that gets dented up, and it's kind of cheap compared to that other, the SA-450, which had this brushed aluminum thick plate inside there. So that was evident right there. Advent's addition to Audiomobile's benchmark of quality. This is an SA-1000 Audiomobile amplifier. This is basically a 4-channel amp. It is 2 channels tweeters, 2 channel woofers, and it has 4-position switch for sensitivity. I believe that is. Not really sure what the pot's for on the side. There's some pots in these small holes here on each end. If you look, there's little holes there, and those pots are like bias pots for the transistors. Whatever you do, don't go cranking on those things. This one is DIN operated too. As you can see, it's an 8-pin DIN, and this one would, from what I can tell, the center pin is turn on blue. The one on the top's not used. Then your plus and minus, plus and minus. The bottom ones aren't used. That's from what I can tell. Because this is soldered to the printed circuit board. There's no wires. You really can't trace it. You just have to trace right here. And from what I can tell, that's the order for this particular amp. This amp looks to be 1, 2, 3 channels or have either been repaired or, you know, for whatever reason, this one channel right here is super clean. So yeah, this amp's having one channel problem. Likely this channel here, because these three have been looked at, but you never know the way it works with the Audiomobile product. On to the equalizers. I remember overlooking the equalizers because they get dual inputs in back and stuff like that. If you notice the orange and brown wires on the bottom of the main plug there, orange would be plus and brown would be minus. That goes to the electronic crossover box. If you ever had to switch that on and off or use power, that's pretty much where that would come from. The white wire is chassis ground to your stereo. So you would bolt that to the back of the stereo itself. And then the blue wire is over there. Here's one with the blue wire intact and the white wire for ground up on top. Black and red. So that would be the order, your basic order. And then your orange wire would be in the middle and brown on the end. There you go. There you go. Like so, like so. On this equalizer, you have 5-pin input. That's the security. Left plus, right plus, and then the rest are all basically minus. On this one here is a 6-pin output plug, okay? And the center one is the switch blue. So those are your plus minus outputs. And the one right in the middle is your 12 volts turn on. That turns on, that one in the middle of this DIN right here, turns on the blue wire right there. Okay, it also turns on the DIN inside here on this knob right here. Turn it on, you see. So what you would do is you turn your stereo on first. Once you got your stereo on, then you would turn this knob on, click. And that would reduce or eliminate amplifier pop or, you know, that kind of thing, surge. Then you would turn volume up. This is basically the gain control of the Audiomobile amplifier system. Because if you notice, these amps have gain control switches, so they're newer models. The older model didn't have any variable gain control. This would be the gain control right here on the SA models. The newer Audiomobile had variable switch for the gain so that you could mess with the input. There. Okay, I covered Audiomobile. That's all I know about these. I really don't have any literature. I could use some literature. You know, any input. They also made a 1600 of this particular amplifier. It had setups for 4 satellite speakers and 2 bass woofers. So it would be like this one is 2 speakers and 2 woofers. The 1600 would have a fader, and it would be set up in such a way so that you could hook up 4 satellite speakers and 2 woofers. So this is the little baby brother of the 1600 right here, and from what I understand, I think these are actually the more popular ones. People, you know, hurting for money. These things were not cheap. These were very expensive products for the time, no doubt. In fact, by 86, I know by 88 they were done. that was it. Audiomobile as a company was done. But by 86, I understand K40 took complete control. They sold off inventory. They labeled it K40 instead of Audiomobile. So there's products out there that say K40 on them that look like this. That's an Audiomobile amp with a K40 label on it. There you go. Last of the esoteric designs from Starry & Co. The Audiomobile product line. Spectacular. Now, you want to know what the hot product was in those days. I can tell you, late 70s, early 80s, all the way up to about 86. This was the product to look forward to. Not the Zeph slab, with a giant slab with the huge equalizer knobs and all that. No. This right here was the thing that you wanted. That 50 hertz slider. 15. Okay. This equalizer was world class at the time. Balance control, gain beyond belief, slider. Look at that. Look at that pot. Whew. That's some swing. And then full on adjustments for your ins and outs stuff. Get your peak lights going. This thing fits in your ashtray in your car, okay? Those slabs were popular in the later 80s because the rap guys liked them. Because they would go around stealing them from each other. I remember those things getting robbed a lot. I had a customer, this guy Coco, that had a Triumph sports car. And he had that Zapco EQ mounted right on his dash, and twice that thing got ripped off. My God, standard for broken glass back in those days. These you could hide. And they kick butt. The best. I think this one is actually an older one. Because this one here has the Advent sticker on it. You see, right there. Advent. Division of Advent. So yeah, I think this is a newer one right here. And this is actually an older, more vintage Audiomobile one. Maybe even before K40 came along and started building them. And that's an Audiomobile circuit board there. There you go. 30 volt power source in there. This is the beginning of 7 volt, even higher preamp output. Audiomobile was the ones that started that. Extremely high preamp level, clean 7 volt preamp. Kick butt. Yeah, Big Dog Road Dave checking out, listening to Mozart at midnight. Audiomobile, the best and no better.